guys, Giant Squirrel here, and this is Running with the Pack, a new series I'm going to be doing where I'm going to hope to try and make it close to weekly, probably once every 2 weeks, where I will basically be covering a few NASCAR topics. I've got today's over there on the sidebar, and if I look over there, it looks like our first topic on today's list is the 2019 Aero Package. So since we're 3 races in with the lower downforce, we're gonna have quite a few races in a row now without the lower down or without the reduced horsepower. Um, I figured it would be a good time to talk about this. And to be honest, I don't think it's changed the racing all that much. I mean, it's made the restarts more exciting for sure, and it's made there be less crashes, which I'm all for. I mean, it definitely helps the accessibility for at least new teams and new manufacturers getting into the sport, seeing that the crashes are less, so they could maybe build one car and get it through the season. Like one team I can think of is that 77 car, which has been showing up to most of the races this season. I mean, the fact that they aren't getting involved in crashes every other week and having to build a brand new race car surely is helping them, and also underfunded teams that have charters like Rick Ware Racing, despite they got in crashes in those first 2 races of the season at Daytona with the 2018 Aero package, which you can't really test that, and then the 29 and then the Atlanta race, which really, I mean, that was just BJ McLeod not knowing what it was doing. But then, it probably helped ease some of the pain of those crashes, not having to build new race cars every single week. And even the fact that the wrecks that they were involved in, minus the one at Daytona, like the pit road crash, didn't actually damage their car too much, because it was on pit road going about 35, 40 miles an hour, which I believe is pit road speed at Atlanta. So, yeah, that's kind of my thing. I'm still on the fence about qualifying because they've said that they know they need to change something. And let's be honest, the final round of Auto Club qualifying last week, oh boy, that was a train wreck. So, yeah. Yeah, the Auto Club qualifying session was a train wreck. They didn't get their whatchamacallit, they didn't get the no one made it back around to the line to start a qualifying lap. So, and then actually, funny enough, at Las Vegas, the other race with the full package, 2 of the fastest guys didn't get back around to complete their fast lap. So they completed their warm up lap to start a time, but they didn't get to actually run a full speed lap, which they would have both knocked. I believe it was Harvick off the pole at Las Vegas. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but yeah, so you mix it. So you've got the so you've got 2 guys, Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman, missing it at Las Vegas, and then everybody missing the first lap at Auto Club, which, I mean, they have said that they're going to try and think about a way to do it. I think probably best case scenario would be, and I know this would be a little tough to organize, but I mean, they've done it in the past. I mean, even if you have to bump it back to Thursday, I'd say get the cars out there, run some heat races. In 2018, I would have said absolutely not to this idea, purely because they were crashing way more. But with the new Aero package, they're crashing like once a race, and that's in a 400 to 500 mile race at a track like, let's say, Auto Club. You line them up for like a 10 to 20 lap heat race, or even let's bump it up to a 35 lap heat race, which is pretty much a fuel window. Like, if you basically take the fuel window at that track, just run the fuel window out without having to pit, I think even that would make a pretty good qualifying race, and just split them up into 2, or even if you have to split them up into 3, groups. I don't know how you'd work on 3 groups unless you did 3 lanes of restarts, which clearly at a track like Martinsville this week would not work. Also, I don't necessarily think that this. I think the heat races would only be really necessary for the tracks with this new aero package. So tracks basically over a mile in length. So like Phoenix, New Hampshire, uh, Dover, those kinds of tracks wouldn't need this addition because they currently have the higher horsepower, which makes it cars less reliant on that good draft. So we've got that going for us that we only need to worry about it for probably about 3/4 of the Cup Series tracks because we've got 3 mile long tracks and 3 short tracks. I mean, that's 6 of the tracks right there that we don't really need to worry about heat races for. And to be honest, some of those are some of the higher carnage tracks. So, at least in history, I mean, we haven't seen a true short track yet. We'll see that later today at um, Auto Club, or not Auto Club, Martinsville. We'll see that later today at Martinsville, and we'll really get to see if they're as high contact and high volatility as we've seen before. But to be honest, my prediction is that we're not going to see nearly as much volatility unless we get to the final lap, where I'm sure if on the final lap someone is going to either pull a Denny Hamlin or a Joey Logano on someone and basically knock them out of the way, whether that be completely up into the wall and out of the way, or just a bump and run like Logano did on Truex last October. So that's that point, and then I guess I should do my picks, and I've actually got my phone here so I can reference my actual fantasy lineup for the NASCAR stuff. But we just had pole qualifying earlier or yesterday, so Joey Logano will be starting from the pole over Eric Almirola. And I actually think those Stewart-Haas racing cars, this is going to be the weekend where Stewart-Haas really turns it on. So I think Stewart-Haas is going to turn it on. Bowyer and Almirola are going to have 2 of their best races. Kyle Busch is going to be Kyle Busch. He's going to be up there in the finish. To be honest, I think that Hendrick Motorsports, one of their cars is going to do great. I'm not sure which one. I'm between thinking that it's going to be Elliott for the history that he has here, or Byron because Byron was quick in practice, but I have a feeling that one of those Hendrick cars is going to finally figure it out and get a top 5. So that some Chevy team other than Kurt Busch has a top 5. So that's my bold predictions. Is I think the race winner, though, I'm pretty convinced that it's going to be one of those Stewart-Haas guys. This is going to be the first win of the year for Stewart-Haas. I don't think it's going to come from Harvick, though. In my opinion, I mean, Harvick's definitely the best driver there, but I think it's going to come from either Clint Bowyer or Eric Almirola. One of those 2 guys is going to get there. I think it's going to be of course, their first win of the season, but in Bowyer's situation, 3rd win of his Stewart-Haas racing career, and Almirola's 2nd win of his Stewart-Haas racing career. So that's your pick. So if you're watching this pretty much right after it's coming out, I'd recommend going in and changing your fantasy pretty quick. But actually, I've got my garage driver as MTJ because I've used him quite a bit, and I don't want to use up him more than I want to. But yeah, so that's kind of my Martinsville predictions, which is probably what I'm gonna have over there on the sidebar as my list. To be honest, I think that's. Let's see if I can think of one more topic because I want to try and fit one more topic in. Can't think of anything. So hopefully you guys have a great day, and I'll actually be recording another one of these, which is gonna be reacting to this Martinsville race. Right after the race. So I'm gonna be working on that literally as soon as I get done watching the race. If I have time, at least. I don't know what time the race. Let's see what time the race is scheduled to start, because that'll really depend on if I'm able. But I'm gonna definitely do a reaction, like some kind of reaction to this race, whether it be. It's probably gonna end up being like Monday Actually, no, it'll probably have to be Tuesday or something. 2 p.m. Race will go for about 3 hours. It'll be cutting it close. I'll get one out within the week, though, a reaction to this Martinsville race. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This has been Running with the Pack. See you guys later. Bye!